Hello everyone, this is GabCat242 and here's my review on the Marvel Universe Omega Red figure. So I gotta say, this is a pretty cool figure. It's really great to see to get more X-Men villains in this line as opposed to just random, slightly obscure characters. But really cool figure. Now there are some things I dislike about this figure despite how great it looks, but let's take a look at him in closer detail. So I gotta say, the head sculpt on him was pretty good. I like that menacing face, and I love that blue shading they did on there. As you can see here on his face they got, and then you see that same blue on his arms. Now unfortunately most of the detail is in his arms and face, and the red's pretty much just a solid red. There's not much shading or anything on there. The white on his armor and boots, even though you can't really tell, there's a little bit of a glossy look to it, so that's pretty nice. The armor's pretty nice too. This does come off, but I'm not going to take it off. Now, a couple of things kind of disappointed me in this figure. So his head does turn pretty okay, but he does have that new neck joint, but it does not go up at all. I mean, it just kind of just wobbles back and forth. And also the hairpiece, his hair ponytail in the back, this does not move. It's pretty much stuck right there, so you have to be careful if you don't break that. And then also moving his biceps. Now I just moved it, and oh, maybe not. Well, for some reason, whenever I turned his arm, oh, I guess not. Well, I had a problem. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so for some reason my arm kept coming off on this one, but it goes back on, and I didn't have a problem with this arm for some reason. This one was fine. So yeah, those were the only couple gripes I had about. So probably the cool thing about this figure are the tendrils he has in his arms. They're made out of a pretty durable soft plastic. Would have been cool if these were more bendable, but they're pretty neat. I like how these are attached. In some ways, kind of reminds me of the old Toy Biz Omega Red from back in the day. So articulation-wise, as I mentioned, head's a little bit hindered by the hair. Of course, he has bicep articulation, which does move despite popping off. Okay, there's a. Oops, if I can get that back on. Okay, I'm gonna use this arm. So joint on the elbows. There is wrist articulation. Now, one thing that's kind of neat, there actually is a ball joint in the wrist, so you can just carefully go back and forth. This is actually the first figure I've seen. Oh, and his arm fell off. This is one of the first figures I've seen that have that joint. I'm probably not going to move it too much because it looks kind of delicate, so I'm just going to leave that alone. So, waist articulation, but because of the armor, it's hindered by that. And so we have ball joints in the legs. We have that thigh swivel, which is nice. Double joints in the legs. And we have another swivel on the lower legs. We got those nice rockers in the ankles. Goes pretty far away. So I gotta say, this figure is cool despite the few things I had with this figure. And the great thing about this figure, he's pretty big. So if you want to compare him to a smaller figure, say Wolverine, it is a great matchup because this guy was huge, and Wolverine was supposed to be short, so huge difference, as you can see. So they did a good job making this guy big. So despite the minor issues I had, this figure is worth picking up, and I say if you find him